What up, y'all? Be back.
What's
Cosmic
good?
Creatives redoing this episode intro real quick just because my dumbass, Jerron Eidner, forgot to press record on the first 3 minutes. So what we're going to do is give this man the proper intro that he deserves.
Yes.
This is Cosmic Creatives. This is our series of interviews that we do where we reach out to some of the dopest, best creatives in Arizona. This is my co-host, Voodoo Eyes. We run a blog called Quasar Cult, and we're here at StarCamp Creative Labs, which is my studio. And we do really dope stuff here. And so this guy over here, his name is Wolfzie. How you doing, Wolfzie?
I'm doing great. It feels great to be in this chair. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I know it's kind of weird because we're doing this again, and you're like, man, is this like some type of no?
I'm here for it.
Yeah, but this is for the thing of the podcast and the content, that we can get your history.
Yeah.
Just real quick, who is Wolfzie and what do you stand for? What are you all about?
Well, I'm Brandyn Jenkins, and Wolfzie is my musical stage name. And I make clothes for people that like to stay home. And that's my clothing brand is called Homebody Friends. And yeah, I'm a DJ and a fashion designer and entrepreneur.
Awesome. Amazing. Yeah, so what we're going to do is on this particular episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to go ahead and jump into the conversation midstream. He was talking about some really dope stuff. It's only about 2 minutes that we missed out here, so we know we're not missing a lot. But just so you guys understand, that's what's going on. We appreciate you guys watching Cosmic Creatives and enjoy this episode.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
I was actually born in Phoenix, and I grew up in Detroit. I moved around a little bit when I was a kid, but came back to the Valley after high school in 2009 and got into DJing, like after like my 19th birthday.
Okay.
Like I was just hanging out with those ASU kids, and y'all know how crazy those parties get.
Oh, yeah.
So
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you were doing that, like that was like what, like the mid 2000s, basically, like early late 2000s, like the aughts, when you were like kind of navigating those waters.
Right. Just kind of figuring out, just doing a lot of watching, club promoting, party promoting, just rubbing elbows with the other DJs, and then one day I just was like, I can do this, like I can figure this out, and one opportunity led to another, and I just kind of found my way.
That's dope. Yeah. What was your first like real setup? Like what did you go buy to get started as a DJ?
I had the APC 40. No. That's what I have right now. I had the Newmark mix deck, and I ran that through Tractor, and that's how I learned and got my start with mixing.
That's what's up. So being that this show's called Cosmic Creatives, we kind of focus on the idea of being like multifaceted, being like a multimedia artist. Everybody who operates here at StarCamp, myself and Voodoo Eyes, we're multimedia artists and we operate in different lanes. So how do you what are your specialties? Like what do you consider your Swiss Army knife of talents?
Well, I would say my area of expertise would be within marketing and advertising. Like that's what I feel passionate about most, like professionally, because that just extends into so many other avenues, like music, e-commerce, sports. Like it extends into every single thing. So it's very versatile, and I love it because of that. And right now that's really what I'm focusing on. I have no safety net of a 9 to 5. I don't have a side hustle. It's just all straight up marketing and advertising and e-commerce right now.
It's really just, it's important to the brand, you know what I mean? And it's like without marketing and without the strategy of getting your shit together or your stuff in line to be able to market properly is like, it's definitely helpful to the brand. Speaking of brands, bro, like tell us about this like homebody brand that you have. Like,
yeah, thank you.
How did this come about? Because that's just dope, bro.
Thank you. Like you can't even spell my name without putting the brand first. So I think it was like in 2017, maybe 2018. I was on my way to a party, and the whole time I'm driving there, I'm just like, bro, I just want to go home. I just want to be at the crib.
I feel that.
I want to get back into my pajamas. Because it was like a late night party. Like it started at like 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
10
like,
o'clock.
damn. All right,
That's late. That's
like my homie was it's late, right?
It's not that late, but it's pretty late.
You're still young out there.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, all right, that's when everybody pulling up.
Funny.
All right, Dad, I love y'all too. So like, the whole time I'm driving to this party that I had to drive like 45 minutes to, I'm like, I just want to go home, bro. Like, I'm just thinking about going home. So I get there, and I enjoyed myself at the party. It was cool. All my homies was there, and we turned up. for about an hour. I was burnt out. Social media gone. I was like, all right, I'm tapped out.
I'm outta
Had
here.
enough. And on my way home, I'm just like, man, I wish I had more friends that were, like me. More friends that were homebodies. And then that's when the name More Homebody Friends came about.
Would you say that homebodies is the same thing as being an introvert, or is that like a different kind of vibe?
There's parallels to it, but I don't think it's the same thing. Because you get people that are extroverted that also just stay at home too.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I'm like that.
I think with Homebody Friends, this is more about the feeling of staying at home and being comfortable wherever you're at, like you're at home. So
Feeling safe.
exactly,
Yeah.
it's like people always talk about, oh, you got to get outside of your comfort zone. Well, what if you expanded your comfort zone? You know what I'm saying? It's like you're comfortable here, but yeah, now I'm comfortable here, and now I'm comfortable there, and now I'm comfortable here. So it's like you're not really getting outside of your comfort zone. You're just getting better with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's pretty cool. I think with like what I see is almost just kind of like a mindset where you have to really just be kind of comfortable in your own skin and being okay with like being okay. If that
Right.
makes any sense. Like just being chill. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to force anything, just being a homebody. You know what I'm saying? That's the vibe I get. But
Exactly.
your brand has actually expanded into like a Facebook group. You're doing fashion shows now. I mean, you're wearing a homebody t-shirt. What's your ultimate like inspiration and vision with Homebody Friends?
Well, there's a lot of homebodies around the world. I just want to be able to give it a voice and, really, like you said, just like let people know like it's okay to stay home. Like you don't have to feel the pressure of always having to figure out what to do. And 9 times out of 10, like you're going to find somebody that, prefers staying at home anyways. Like, that's why I do the comfortable clothes. That's why I do the designs that I do. And, because if you're going to be at home, you might as well look good, because that's the most important person to look good for. It's yourself.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, too, like you have to push for yourself before anybody else. And when it comes to like being a homebody, it's almost like a mental aspect too, where it's like you want to be able to. It's not about. I mean, obviously you're selling these clothes, and
Right.
you gotta make your money. But like that's not like the mythos of why you're doing it. It's like almost like an ideal that you adopt that you can.
Right.
that you
Because it
become.
definitely didn't start out with, oh, I can make some money off these homebodies. It was just like, it started out just like, like you said, just like the Facebook group. And I was like, let me just see who else resonates with the message just in general. And, that Facebook group grew, and that led me to make some merch. And then merch extended into fashion, and then fashion extended into the fashion shows.
That's awesome. So, what's next for Homebody Friends? What's the next big move right now that you're working on?
So I'm still working on music. I have a lot of music that I just haven't put out, and now that I have this brand, I want to like incorporate them both and just start making music videos with the new collections and the drops that I make. I did the fashion show a couple times. It was fun, and I may revisit that in the near future. But I want to really get into like music videos, because like those just have like a
being
lot
in
of
them or
traction.
directing them or both.
Both. Yeah, both. And so like some of your work too as well, and just having like that mindset of like, I'm gonna get this accomplished with like the best people around me is like the kind of mindset that I had going into this. Because I think it was the Bond movie, wasn't able to make the red carpet, but heard so much about it, and I knew like a handful of people that was involved in the film, and I asked them, I was like, yo, what was it like? What was your experience like? How did you? And I just wanted to soak up all that I could, and just being into film, and that's like another new avenue that I want to get into now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of being. Sorry, grab that real quick. Multifaceted, but not like pigeonholing yourself into a lane. You know what I'm saying,
Right.
where it's like, oh, I'm a fashion designer, oh, I'm a DJ, oh, I'm a rapper, oh, I'm this now, I'm that now. Being everything, everywhere all at once. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like just being in that moment is what's important. Not only just like as an individual, but like to even pull the race card, like as a black man in America, like to really just try to like be an individual, like through your art is kind of difficult because there's so many reasons to go in a different direction, right?
Right.
And I know we were chopping it up back out there in the warehouse. You're saying that some of your influences are Golf Wing and
Right.
Tyler the Creator and his movement. And he's a good example of someone who kind of like carves out a lane that is unique to his voice. He's
Absolutely.
not catering to any type of like audience or anything. Like it's like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and either you gravitate it or not. But who are some of your other big influences that you fuck with that have this like kind of help mold you into who you are?
Absolutely. So Tyler being a big one, Virgil Abloh, Rest his Soul was probably the biggest inspiration. Even why I even got into fashion was because of Virgil. I think it was I couldn't say the first piece I saw by Off-White, but I knew it was something special when I did discover it. And when I knew it was Virgil making all of these, crazy ass designs and collaborating with some of the, the biggest people in fashion, I was like, I didn't even know who Takashi Palm was, or I didn't even know who, XYZ was, or, all these crazy models who are now actors. And it just kind of just opened my mind and, my perspective to so much. And, still like keeping the musical aspect involved, like still listening to Pharrell. Pharrell's a fashion icon too. The men's director for Louis Vuitton now.
Yeah. He did just had a big event like last week.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all like, coming together, and the influences never stop. Like I might, when I see somebody tomorrow that I'm like, oh, that's really dope, So
you're always like constantly looking for influence and.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's just important to constantly learn and figure out what else is out there.
So let's talk about your process a little bit when it comes to creating some of these designs. Is it something where it's like, like where you get your inspiration from when you like grab like one of your robes, for example, like you have some interesting designs going on there. Like how do you get your aesthetic? Like how do you get your mindset on that?
I smoke a lot of weed.
There it is.
I smoke a lot of weed. I'll probably put on like
we needed
some really weird documentary. Like my favorite documentary is about Lee Morgan. It's called I Called Him Morgan. It's just a really good jazz documentary. I'll put that on. I'll watch The Twilight Zone and just kind of see where my mind just goes. And I never really have like, today I'm gonna make something blue. Like that's it's never a part of the palette.
Right.
It's just, whatever flows, whatever I feel like. But I do have like a set like process and like not like a template, but like aspects that I do want to intentionally add to my works. I just don't know where I want to put them and how I want to orchestrate everything. It's just whatever I'm feeling that day.
Are you like creating every day, or is it like do you have like days where you just block off your whole day to creation, or it's like a little bit at a time? Like,
it's definitely a little bit at a time, and but it kind of goes in waves. Like sometimes I'll just make 20 different robes in three or four different days. But sometimes I'll just work more on the website because I had to, really teach myself how to understand Shopify and understand how to fix bugs and how to understand how to optimize landing pages and how to teach myself about SEO. Like a lot of that time is spent on there too.
Right.
So the creative process.
That lends to like the marketing aspect of it too.
Yeah. It's all important.
Yeah. Let's talk about the marketing aspect. Like what, just to pick your brain for like artists watching this, like what are some tips that you would give artists that they might not be thinking about when it comes to just getting their name out there and getting themselves heard?
You don't need a whole lot of likes and comments and, people thinking that you're famous to really make money on this platform or any platform that you want to advertise on. Just be intentional about it. Make it a fair price. Put your actual effort into it. People can really look through the bullshit, like soups are French, but you got to trust that your audience is not stupid. You got to trust that these people, are expecting a quality product from you, just like you're expecting like a quality friendship or a quality connection. Like they're expecting the same thing from you, and you got to give that back to them. And the rest will follow. Just understand you're gonna go through them dog days of being an entrepreneur, and that's okay. You just got to keep going. So
I think a lot of that is attached to like the dreaded E word of engagement and trying to like incite that out of people. Having interesting topics to talk about and like going in a different direction when it comes to like, oh, it's not about just force feeding my music down your throat. It's about connecting with people like with my story and connecting with people in a way that like makes them want to see you win. Right. Because I think one of the big misconceptions that it comes down to is a lot of times people think that, I should be pushing my music a lot, like music. And I think that even the marketing adage, you might be the expert on this, is that it should be like the opposite, right? Like 80% of your life and then 20% of your actual music and the stuff that you're trying to sell people, at least when it comes to like an individual like influencer. With the idea being that you want to be able to have a fan listen to your music because they want to, not because like it was like on their timeline.
Right. It's definitely a balance, right?
Yeah.
Because you know, you want to be able to just be like, again, you want to be intentional with it. So shoot, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, like the engagement aspect of it, I think that's where I wanted to reel that back into it. It's great. It's definitely important to have that engagement. I'm not knocking that at all. But a lot of people that I've worked with, you know, they want the likes in the comments, they want the followers and likes, but I'm like, okay, now what?
Right.
Now what do you want to do
What's
with
the
it?
next step? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about optimizing that data that you've collected, that you've spent, you know, boosting a post, or that you've spent, you know, pushing out an ad to get it in front of those people. It's like, what do you do with that, all those clicks? What do you do with all of that vanity data? They have no clue what to do with that. And that's what I would say focus more on. You know, how do you utilize this many likes and this many comments and this many shares to your advantage? And that's where it can become interesting.
Yeah, even with your Homebody Facebook group, which you guys should check out, by the way, it's really dope. Like, you posted a lot of content on there. It's like you tap into the idea of these are the people who need this type of content, right? And these are the people who need to be here. And if you're not here, you know, you're not going to enjoy the content. And I think that's that like when you're scrolling on your timeline, like think about the times when you're scrolling and you actually stop. And why are you stopping? Is it because, you know, it's a friend of yours, or it's because it's an artist you like, or maybe it's a girl with some titties or whatever? That usually works 95% of the time. But the idea is that you want them to be able to scroll or stop on the scroll. And when it comes to Homebody Friends, like, your branding is so on point. Like, even right now, like, you have like the Pornhub theme going on right now, where it's
That's
like, if I was scrolling through and I saw that, right, I'd be like, oh man, like, what is that about? Homebody Friends? Like, there's a curiosity factor to it.
Yeah.
What is like your biggest like hurdle when it came to creating your clothing design?
Being broke.
That's a big hurdle.
Being broke.
We all share the same.
How'd you get over that though? How'd you find a way to like make things like more like cost effective for you? Like, there's like is there a cheat code that you can share with us when it comes to that, or just being that damn good, right?
Well, you know, it is about who you know as well. If you have somebody that wants to invest in you and somebody that wants to really help you out, and they have the means to do it, by all means, absolutely. But let's just say that you're just going into it, no help, no support, but I got the idea, I got the hope, I got the dream, but I got no money. What do you do with that, right? Well, you got to keep creating, and you got to give yourself a platform. Because when you give yourself a platform, that gives you a presence. And then it's what you do with that presence that you can maximize on your opportunities with. So I get it. You can't get paid off exposure. I get it. I wouldn't take a booking off exposure either. I get it.
Right.
You know, you got to make sure you get paid for everything that you do. So that just means not doing shit for free. Yep. You know, because you're going to get people that are like, hey, you're an upcoming artist. Let me get this beat for, you know, for the low or for nothing. You know, let me get this music video. Let's put it a part of your portfolio. You know, let's build that up. It's like, no, I got to get paid for that too.
Right.
You know, this is from the bottom up. So don't do shit for free. No matter how big the name is, you know, the bigger the name, the more budget they have. So they should be able to pay you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't do anything for free. That's all.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of artists just don't really think about. Not even artists, just like small business, like entrepreneurs, that like, it's very easy to give away free work, right? Because when it comes to free work, you're doing it, you're in the grind, you have the credentials, and you have the receipts. But to be able to command a price and then using that as your flat line, that's how you get paid at the end of the day. Like saying, that, hey, it's going to cost me $20 to do this, right? Whatever it is,
right.
You get it done for $20. At least they know for a fact that if they're going to refer you to somebody else, that you cost $20. Right?
That should be in business.
Because oftentimes people be like, "Oh, I got a guy who can do this shit for free."
People be trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I got a guy who can do this shit for free
every time.
Yeah.
And then you hit them up, and you're put in an awkward position because obviously you don't want to put that person out, and then make that person feel embarrassed because you might lose a client, right? So now
potentially,
you always got to have some type of flatline price. You know what I'm saying, baseline, because people will definitely take advantage of that. When it comes back, circling back to the fashion design, So we've talked about Virgil, we talked about Golf Wing. Where do you see yourself like in the grand scheme of like hip hop and like your Homebody Friends? Do you see like a transition there? Do you see like Tyler the Creator like wearing one of your robes at one of his events, or is your lane like more like contemporary and not hip hop, whitish? I guess is that what I kind of use there? Because I mean that to be straight and frank about it, that's where the money is at. And I'm saying like getting Homebody Friends, JC Penney's, and or like Dillard's or something like that, you would become a multimillionaire after that, right? Like, but having like a rapper wearing that and doing the hip hop thing, you might get the clout, but like how many rappers have failed with their clothing brands? Yeah. And there's very few that who were able to like pop out. Right. You already mentioned a couple of Virgil, Golf Wing, et cetera, so forth.
Absolutely. Well, at first I'll say the short answer is yes. Because, like you mentioned, you can get into the JC Penney's and the Targets and the Walmarts and you can make a bag off that. Shaq does that. He has his shoes. He does that. And, he's wealthy. But
he's doing very well for himself, yes.
And then, sometimes you'll see, some of his past teammates will still wear, Shaq's, they'll still wear his merch even at practice. They'll never wear it down the tunnel, but they'll still, support him with it, right? So that, really translates to, I would love to see a collaboration with someone like Tyler the Creator or, Tekashi Palm or even, a prominent artist in the industry, rapper, country singer, I don't care. They all like to stay home.
Sure.
I get it.
Sure.
That would be great because it creates more of a cult following and you don't really have to utilize some of the bigger markets for that. But, that's not to say that I'm not going to refuse an opportunity if the bigger market wants to work and do business properly.
So you also work in the tech industry too, though. Or how do you see technology like really tying into your fashion and also just like hip hop and artistry in general? Should people be embracing this AI revolution and like using ChatGPT to write their lyrics and like design their clothes, or is it something where you're kind of more protective of that because you're afraid of like?
I'm not afraid of anything but God, and with AI, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just like, let's see how this can. Let's just give it a chance. Let's see how it can work for us.
It's gonna be crazy as fuck. I promise. I'm just kidding.
And there's already people that utilize it for so many things. Like job interviews, like them job interview questions. You just pop them into that AI, and they'll just solve all the questions for you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People do that all the time.
I saw somebody freaking out though at a college that was. Oh, I think you shared the video. This dude was like, "Stop using ChatGPT to answer your questions." He was pissed, bro. I'm just like, yo.
Do you see yourself using AI in like your art moving forward, or is it?
Or do you use AI?
Or do you use AI already, baby?
Yeah.
Don't expose your process. To be open, like with Quasar Code, we use AI in all our t-shirt designs because it looks cool. And we're just trying to sell an idea. But you might be a hard line on that. It might be like it has to come from the mind of like Wolfzie, you know what I'm saying? Like
it does absolutely have to come from the mind. I feel like I would utilize AI for marketing purposes and just being able to automate certain things and certain tasks because, just as a store owner, it's not all just design. It's, it's processes and orders. It's making sure things get fulfilled. It's a lot of tasks that you have to do on a daily basis, which you can utilize AI for, just say, hey, make sure that these orders get processed before XYZ.
Just like automating things, right? Like
it's automation.
Saves you time. I mean, that's what I use it for. Like when it comes to ChatGPT, if you look at my history, it's all just like how to like write SEO for whatever or something like that. Just like things that would save me plenty of time when it comes to doing it myself.
Right.
But also too, when it comes to like the AI revolution too, it's like one of those things where you have to kind of find the balance to it because no matter what, the shit's coming. Like you can't stop it from coming, right? And I think like one of the big misconceptions is that like it's going to take people's jobs, and some jobs will be lost to AI for sure. But the idea is that if you're embracing it and learning how to use it and like really kind of treating it as like a new job avenue, you can make millions if not billions of dollars off that shit.
Like it'll force us to level up.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
If you're afraid of AI losing your job, like bust your ass and find a new skill or learn more about the skill that you're already in.
Yeah.
And I would say we can utilize AI as a companion rather than a replacement. Have it work for you.
Have a little Wolfzie bot running around, doing some tasks for you.
Exactly. We can make it work for us. We created the AI. So at the end of the day, that's how I think it can work.
There was a statistic that you were talking about too about AI when it was like how many people actually know about it, how many people used it. and like how many people
Yeah,
have
it
even
was
used
something
it?
like along the lines that only like half of the country is aware of ChatGPT right now.
Yeah.
And of that half, only half of the people have used it.
So like 26% of the people actually use AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
the number's rising like pretty fast,
Yeah.
obviously. But the point is that
That was-
it's still a brand new thing that we're
Yeah.
experiencing right here. Circling back to your personal life, because like, I've said your name multiple times right now and I haven't asked you, what is Wolfzie about? Like, why did you call yourself Wolfzie?
Oh yeah.
We start talking about robots and shit.
So-
Let's talk about the band real quick. Get back to it.
Yeah, that name came about. I think I was like 19 years old, and yeah, this is when I was doing those house parties, and these people would start to create the flyers, and they're like, "What do we put on the flyer?" And I just didn't want to continue to keep putting Brandyn Jenkins on there. Like it's good. I love my name, but I wanted to be someone else when I got on the stage.
Sure,
at
like
the
a different
stage.
personality, like alter
Yeah.
ego, yeah.
And at the time, I was talking to a few friends, and I went through this phase of like putting DJ in front of everything. Like when I was like, it would just be like the most obscure name. I would just be like we would be reading something, like, oh, All Star Camp Creative Lab, DJ Star Camp Creative Lab. Like I would put DJ in front of every word to try to find a name for like
Okay,
months, right?
that's funny.
And then my friend was like, all right, what do you like? Like, give me 3 things that you like, right? Her name's Eden. Use Nutella in your name. It's a little recognizable. But we can take wolf and zombie and make it Wolfzie, because that's what you're into right now. And I was like, all right, yeah, that sounds dope. I'll run with that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So it's not like you're like, oh yeah, when I was 3 years old, I was left with a pack of wolves. And I have those like wolf t-shirts that we wore all through high school. I'm just obsessed with wolves.
Man, like, I think it's my favorite animal, but being a homebody, like, I've learned more about animals that are homebodies too. Do you guys know that Komodo dragons like could easily dominate any species within an arm's length, but they choose not to because they just like staying at home that much?
Oh, Komodo dragons. Their bites are
Like
Yeah,
they can
poisonous.
swim, they can run, they can hunt, they can do all that, but they're just like, nah, we're just gonna chill.
They're just lazy. That's funny as
But
fuck.
then when they get hungry, they go,
They
fuck
do their
something up.
thing.
Yeah, I see. I follow this fucking page on Instagram where
And scientists don't know why. Like they'll literally dominate any other species, but they're just like perfectly content with just being chill. So
Pretty awesome.
that's pretty cool.
yeah,
That's just knowing that you can just fuck shit up and like mess up the ecosystem real quick.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just gonna chill at home.
snow leopards are like that too. They stay at home a lot. Stingrays, even though they killed, my man's, but they like to stay at home too.
Steve Irwin.
So one of the things I like about that you have going on is your snack series, where you're trying
Yeah.
like all these like different snacks and just like around the world. And like what made you decide to start that series?
Man, what made me? I think I was watching a bunch of like ASMR videos one night. I was like really hyped. I was like, I could do this. This
It's like,
looks fun.
this is my jam.
You know what I'm saying? I could do this.
You got some interesting snacks on there.
Thank you.
What is your favorite one that you've tried so far? I think how many episodes do you have of that so far?
I think maybe 10.
Yeah, what's your
maybe
favorite one?
10.
You had some pretty crazy ones on there.
The Nutella biscuits were really good. But as far as like the reviews, I think it's got to be a chip, because those the steak flavored Cheetos.
Steak flavored
Cheetos.
Yes, steak flavored Cheetos. It tastes like the ramen noodle, like the beef packet, but you
Okay.
put it on the Cheetos, bro. I don't know how they did it. Oh yeah, and they got these Lay's has a
There's this website that I actually go to that has a bunch of.
You got 'em too?
snacks.
So you got the plug.
Say it though. Go ahead with what you're saying.
it's a beef Wellington chip
Beef
flavor.
Wellington.
And bro, I've only had beef Wellington once before that chip, and after that chip, I've had it twice. Like that's how realistic
I'm out
it
here
is.
Wellington.
That's
well.
funny.
That's funny.
Well, speaking of snacks, didn't you have those pussy flavored chips, bro?
I did have the pussy. I still have a box of those. I should let you try some of those.
Yes, I would love to review it.
Yeah. I have I bought 2 boxes because I was like, this is a gem.
Erica Badu got a
Wait,
pussy
2 boxes?
sent too.
How many bags came in it? Just 2?
No, I bought two separate orders, like two separate boxes, because one I was gonna eat for the video, and then I wanted to keep one just in case they were bomb or like they were like collector's items.
Just in case, yeah.
So
Or in case they were trash.
they came from Netherlands, man. That shit, I ordered that shit like fucking a month and a half to get those.
Dang, that's crazy.
So
Wow.
I'm not even sure they're still available or not, but
Yeah, I think Erica Badu.
they don't taste like pussy, by the way.
She has like a pussy scent incense, doesn't she? Y'all hear about that? You see
I
the
think it
dude
supposedly
that-
smells like her pussy.
The
Yeah.
next evolution of Homebody Friends is like just Wolfzie balls, scented candles.
I did make
Oh my
a candle.
God.
I made one candle once, and it smells exactly like I'm not going. That's like the caption I put on it, and I was like,
I'm not
"Man."
going.
What is the process of making a candle? Like, how does that work? 'Cause I mean, I hear about this.
You could buy kits.
So, but how do you like capture the essence and put it into the wax?
You have to pay someone to do that for you.
Like, there's like a candle wax specialist man who's
There's like,
out there who's like, I extract scents from things.
And you got to give them a cheat code, like a GTA, like R1, L1, up, down, left, right.
Yeah, okay. So like with Erica Badu's pussy, for example, right? Like someone had to like get that scent, right, and then take that scent and then make it first of all commerciable, like
Yeah.
replicable. You can like fucking have enough of it to make
Bro.
candles.
You see Black Mirror, right?
I've watched Black Mirror.
Remember
yes.
the one where he was getting the DNA of people and putting them inside the video game?
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what he. I'm pretty sure they swabbed her.
swabbed her vagina and then put it in a
and then
jar.
they put it inside a jar and fucking that shit was.
But I actually outsourced that process of candle, so I just focus on the design of what it looks like and what I want it
So
to
you
smell
give
like.
them like a flavor profile or like a scent profile to them to go after? Do they make up their own?
So they have like a make of their own. So they'll tell me like, okay, we're working on like a more of a cedar wood, autumn, crisp, scent, and then we also have like a sea breeze scent, and then we also have like there's like a third one in there. But I just go in, I make the label, and I pick the scent, and then they facilitate it from there.
Yeah, my kids have made a couple of candles before, so that's what I'm saying. You could buy
I'm
kits.
missing out. Shit, I
You
guess
can buy
I
kits.
should make a fucking
You can
candle.
buy kits. That you can also, and then we've also bought them the kits to make those. What is it called? Those things that you throw in the water and they.
Oh, the bath bombs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bath bombs.
Those things. There you go.
Is that so what's all included in the Homebody catalog? Does that include bath bombs, candles,
Oh, I
or is
wish.
it just like the robes? I know you have robes, and then what else do you sell?
We've got pajamas.
Pajamas.
We've got
Tight.
sweatpants. Anything comfortable like
I need some-
hoodies,
I need some
t-shirts.
pajamas.
Absolutely. For men, we've got the gray sweatpants. Ladies go crazy over them.
Yeah. That's a seasonal jam.
We got some Crocs on there. Just
I
got,
retired
just got into them.
my gray sweatpants, so those are in the closet.
See,
I got the ring.
You got the ring now.
I can't be rocking the gray sweatpants anymore because I'll get in trouble.
unless she gets them for you, then it's all good, right?
Yeah. Then I have to wear them around the house. Yeah, but yeah,
But then you can just be a homebody.
Exactly.
You can just stay at home with them.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But I do want to expand into like fragrances and furniture and get into really what else I can collaborate with. Homebody Friends. It's all about being at home and making that space your space. So if it requires a candle, cool. If it requires a coffee pot, maybe we can make coffee pots.
That'd be dope.
Haven't gotten there yet, but I'm not opposed to it.
That's
So
dope.
that's just the thing
That's
I'm into. Yeah. It's all about expansion.
So before we'll round this up, is just talking about your music. Because before we started, you were talking about you got some shit coming out here pretty soon. What can we look forward to when it comes to Wolfzie's music here?
And do you go by Wolfzie as well as your artist name?
Yeah, whenever I'm on stage, absolutely. I'll always introduce myself as Brandyn Jenkins. But as far as like music and e-commerce and marketing, I'm tying that all in together. And you guys can look forward to some music videos. Because I feel like that's going to be the best way to, for me, at least, to reach the people that I want to reach without having them leave the house.
That's dope. That's dope. So these are going to be like Homebody Friends inspired music videos, or like these like commercials, or like what kind of like? Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I want to do a whole catalog video. So I did one for Summer Slumber, my first catalog from last summer. It's about a 17-minute video of all the outfits that I had in the show. And I want to do that again. But I also want to have those individual clips that shows the outfits, because people just want to be able to like focus and show, share that with, their friends too. and all that is just simultaneous with the music that I'm putting out.
That's
you
dope.
know?
That's
So
dope.
that's really what I want to do.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, we're go ahead and wrap up this conversation. We're actually going to pick your brain more afterwards, you know, talk to you a little bit, maybe, you know, talk about some
Dope.
things we can work together on some shit.
Absolutely.
But where can people find if they want to reach out to you about Homebody Friends or just about you DJing or just you in general?
Of course, I'm not hard to get a hold of. Instagram at Wolfzie or at Homebody Friends. Facebook, we're at Homebody Friends at Wolfzie. Again, I'm not hard to get a hold of. Just hit me up on Instagram or TikTok, wherever your preferred platform is, and we've got a presence there.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, usually, untypically, we have people perform some songs. We actually talked to Wolfzie beforehand, and what we decided to do is we're actually going to show some of his brand. So if you guys want to see that exclusive content, make sure you guys check out this episode when it drops on YouTube. It will be out and available on YouTube, Cult Life. That's QULTLYFE. Probably a couple weeks once I sit down and get the edit down. But yeah, make sure you check that out. And thank you guys for watching Cosmic Creatives. Stay cosmic.